Hi guys, it's Anthony Chansamooth here on day 40 of my 90-day challenge. And today has been a remarkable day. I did a presentation this morning at Parramatta City Library on social media, and then after that I went to a event called, I was invited to attend an event as a mentor. The event was called Adapt Sydney, and it was all about bringing young people from, I think, aged like 12 through to 19 or something like that. And these are people who have ideas on how to build, or who ideas to build apps, right? To build apps that have a social impact. Okay, so it was really a fascinating process and a great experience as a mentor, and also as an observer to see what was going on in that room. And if you haven't seen like an incubation process or some kind of event like Launch 48 or Startup Weekend, I highly recommend you go check that out if that's something that interests you. Because what happens is you basically bring people together and they form teams on the spot, and then they start brainstorming ideas, and you have pretty much 48 or 1 weekend to come up with a concept and a strategy, and then pitch that to see if you become a finalist and either win the contest or get funding to make it happen. Or in this case, what will happen is the winners will get selected and they go to a final round in Melbourne in December. And then if they win there, then what happens is the sponsor will actually fund the development of the application of the app. So really, really awesome event. And what was more powerful was seeing the participants, and there were like 12-year-olds there who were just incredible with the way, with the level first of all, the level of intelligence, and then the ability to articulate what their ideas were and to share that in a way that was very succinct. And I was blown away, and I feel so fortunate to be able to sit down with some of these groups and be told, look, this is our idea, and and then give some feedback on challenges or direction that they should take. Now, one thing that became very clear, where I was able to add value, and was actually a conversation I had last night with someone who has been very successful in as an artist and as an illustrator, and being able to reach certain audiences and with what she does, and get she's basically illustrating a book right now, and also doing some portrait work, and has been able to be win prizes and get very successful in what she does. One thing she said to me last night, which has really resonated and stuck with me in my mind, which I was able to then impart today, was this idea of, when you have an idea and you have a passion and something that you feel is important and that you want to, first of all, you have to get very clear on what that is, and you got to take a stance, right? You can't be sitting on a fence. You got to be one way or the other in terms of your motivation and why the idea captures you. What's the story behind the idea? Why do you think it's important? Why do you think it will work? Okay, and then the next very important step is to actually validate it. And this is something that I come across with a lot of business owners as I coach them and as I support them through this process, is not enough people put enough energy and time into validating their ideas to see if it's going to work, if people are going to buy whatever it is, whether it's your vision or your business idea or your product or service. Okay, so or excuse me, woo. Even if it's a project, your an idea that you want to express at work, in a work environment, right? In a project team, you need to be able to get support and proof that people want it. that there's actually a benefit and a value, whether it's to your organization or to the end user, whoever it is, right? For me, so a lot of time and a lot of research needs to be spent identifying very clearly who you're serving, and if they want it, right? So you might have a great idea that you think is going to change the world or change something, and then you go and you think it's going to work for a certain group of people that you have in mind, and then you go and ask them and talk to them, and they would tell you that it doesn't really work for them for whatever reason. So it's very important that you get that feedback before you go full-fledged into creating a product or developing a website or getting something up, and spending money, time and resource into something that basically is not gonna sell, or no one's gonna take and use. Okay, so the validation process is very, very important, and that means doing a lot of research. Whether you read a lot of stuff, talk to people who, your intended audience and everyone that's involved in that idea, and get their feedback. Okay, so what usually happens is you have a dream and a vision, and when you start talking to people, be very open to having the way that it's implemented shift. Okay, and be able to move and be flexible enough to move with that. Right, as long as think of it this way, there are hundreds or million ways to get to a destination. Okay, and so one problem that I faced before and other people have faced is get very stuck on the way that it's going to happen. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, they get very stuck on this is the right way and the only way to get it done, and that just, if you go into an idea and you follow a dream with that vision, with that mentality, then you may find it very hard going, and you end up giving up, or you don't get the support you need to really make it grow and to really make it happen, right? So that's my takeaway that I got from today, and actually from last night, from conversations and stuff like that. And wow, like, just again, still just really blown away by these kids and what they're doing. So that's it. So so here's putting it back to you now. So what has been your experience with following your dreams? What's your big vision, first of all? I'd love to hear that from you. And then who have you actually asked to actually validate the idea, and who does it serve? And have you actually talked to people to get those ideas validated? Whether it's a business idea, or it's just a project you want to work on, or a social project, or whatever it is. Would love to hear from you. If you have any questions on this, again, post in the comments below and let me know. All right, that's it, Anthony checking out for today, and I'll see you soon.